Chicago Cubs. News today.
You know when a player you didn't expect much from suddenly becomes a key piece of the team? Yeah? That's happening with the Cubs right now. Anyone who follows the Cubs closely knows that certain news always sparks debate. And today, we need to talk about a guy who's starting to become a real topic at Wrigley. Craig Counsell just gave him some praise that, honestly, you don't hear a manager talk like that every day. And the most interesting part? It's someone a lot of people thought would struggle this year. Let's break down what's going on. You know when a player you didn't expect much from suddenly becomes a key piece of the team? Yeah. That's happening with the Cubs right now. Anyone who follows the Cubs closely knows that certain news always sparks debate. And today, we need to talk about a guy who's starting to become a real topic at Wrigley. Craig Counsell just gave him some praise that, honestly, you don't hear a manager talk like that every day. And the most interesting part, it's someone a lot of people thought would struggle this year. Let's break down what's going on. Ben Brown. That's the name making Counsell smile at the start of this season. The Cubs manager was direct with the Tribune. He's extremely impressed with what the young right-handed pitcher has shown so far. And this isn't just coach talk trying to hype up the fan base. The numbers back it up. Brown has made 2 appearances, worked 6 2/3 innings, with an ERA of 2.70, a WHIP of 0.90, 8 strikeouts, and only 2 walks. For a guy many people weren't even sure would make the opening day roster, that's a statement. And if you were at Wrigley or watching from home, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can feel when a player is confident. Brown isn't just pitching, well, he's pitching with presence. That new sinker of his? It's working, folks. And the fans are already starting to believe we may have found something special here. Now let's rewind a bit. Brown came into spring training with a completely reworked sinker. He changed his entire pitch mix, and he performed well enough to earn a spot on the opening day roster. But there was one problem. There wasn't room in the starting rotation. So what did the coaching staff do? They moved him to the bullpen. And look, that could have gone wrong. Some pitchers don't adapt well to coming out of the bullpen. But Brown, he embraced the role. The Cubs have always had this philosophy of developing versatile pitchers. We've seen it work before, and we've seen it fail too. But when it works, it becomes a huge advantage over a long season, and it looks like Brown understands exactly what the team needs from him. Last year, he struggled. Everyone who follows the team knows that. But this is the kind of player you root for. Young, talented, and willing to improve. Let me ask you something. Did you expect to see Ben Brown getting this kind of praise from Counsell in the first week? Because I'll be honest, I didn't. I thought he would need more time to adjust. But he's attacking the strike zone, pitching with confidence, executing. Counsell said something that really caught my attention. With unpredictable weather and being cautious with starters, this has worked and will continue to be an advantage. Translation? Having Brown in the bullpen gives the team flexibility. If a starter can't go deep into a game because of the cold Chicago weather in April, Brown steps in and holds it down. If someone gets injured, Brown can step into the rotation. That's smart roster management. And it shows the coaching staff is thinking long-term. Now, there's something circulating behind the scenes. The expectation is that Ben Brown will be the first name called when a spot opens up in the rotation. And look, that's not speculation. That's the natural move when you see a guy performing like this. The question is, when will that happen? Because injuries happen, fatigue builds up, and in a 162-game season, you always need more pitching than you think. And there's another important point here. The psychological impact on the rest of the roster. When a young player comes in, embraces a tough role, and delivers results, it lifts everyone. It shows that the Cubs' development system is working. It shows there's a future. The other young pitchers in the farm system are watching this. And trust me, that matters. Look, I'll be honest with you. I was skeptical. When I saw Brown going to the bullpen, I thought, here we go again, Cubs improvising. But I was wrong. He's proving me wrong every time he takes the mound. And honestly, I love being wrong when it means the team is better than I expected. That new sinker made a real difference. This isn't just spring training hype. It's a legit weapon. So what are the scenarios moving forward? Scenario 1. Brown stays in the bullpen, becomes a key piece in the middle to late innings, and the Cubs gain another weapon to compete. Scenario 2. Someone in the rotation gets hurt or worn down, Brown steps in as a starter, and we find out if he can maintain this level over 5 or 6 innings. I think both scenarios are good for us. Having that kind of flexibility is a luxury. And at the end of the day, this could be the difference between fighting for a wild card spot or missing the playoffs. Pitching wins championships, everyone knows that. If Ben Brown really has become the reliable piece counsel is suggesting, the Cubs have a much better chance to truly compete this year. It's early in the season, I know, but the signs are there. Ben Brown is showing he deserves the trust. Craig Counsell is impressed. The fans are starting to believe. And at Wrigley Field, when we start believing in someone, the energy completely changes. This is the kind of story we love to follow. A young player, development, overcoming last year's struggles. Pure baseball. Only time will tell if Ben Brown is truly that piece that will help us fly the W more often this year. But for now, he's on the right track. If you want to check out team merchandise, the link is in the description.